money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
My name is Colonel Edith Nakarima Asuzwa. I head the State House Investors Protection Unit established by His Excellency Retired General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The Uganda Electronic Investors Protection Portal is a digital platform that empowers investors to get authentic information, make inquiries, report, verify, and receive feedback. The Electronic Investors Protection Portal serves all existing and prospective investors, both domestic and foreign, as well as the general public, through enabling whistleblowers to report any concerns about investing in Uganda. The electronic portal guides investors with important and necessary information on investing in Uganda. It also offers a quick reporting and enforcement mechanism while ensuring real-time feedback. The Uganda Electronic Investors Protection Portal gives you access to authentic information and resources that are designed to help you make informed investment decisions and avoid common pitfalls.
To access the portal, log on to protection.statehouseinvest.go.ug or visit our website www.statehouseinvest.go.ug. Email us on info@statehouseinvest.go.ug or call us on 0326 100630. Visit our office at Lumumba Avenue, Plot 51B, Nakasero Hill, Kampala, Uganda. The State House Investors Protection Unit, empowering investors.
The energy of this land was born in the hearts of these men, of these women. It comes to life in the power of these colors and the memory of these scents. The energy of this land comes from here. It comes from Africa, and it vibrates in each of us.
Empowered by Africa.
Oryx Gas, powered by Africa.
The only water that can quench my thirst. Aquafina, we are good, good. Aquafina, hydration that is good, good. With essential and good. Then over 10 water bottle. Aquafina is my drinking water, my love.
In the production process of Aquafina, we expertly filter every drop, providing clear and perfect tasting water to help you keep hydrated with the added benefit of minerals. Aquafina is bottled by Pepsi Cola International in Uganda and is available at only 1,000 shillings.
Well, welcome everyone to the biggest game on the continent.
And you have to, you've got to just seize those moments and enjoy them as much as you possibly can.
When it is KB o'clock, you need more from your voice bundles. That's why MTN is offering you more minutes across all networks that don't expire. Buy the new 90-minute Freedom Bundle at 5K or the 200-minute bundle at 10K and jazz with no limit. Katiteri ate, no excuses. Make the call now. Dial *100*21# or use the My MTN app and enjoy your Freedom Bundle today. MTN. Together we are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Naam, Sadakta mpenzi mtazamaji popote ulipo, wakati ni sasa. Hayawi huwa yamekuwa yamefanyika, yametendeka na yamechambuliwa. Mkutano wa Non-Aligned Movement umefanyika na vile vile marais kuzungumza. Kwa haya na mengine usiondoke. Jina langu ni Sadam Muballe na tukienda moja kwa moja hadi habari yetu ya kwanza ya siku ya leo. Ni kwamba Rais wa Baraza Kuu la Umoja wa Mataifa Dennis Francis amelalamikia kuongezeka kwa machafuko kwenye ukanda wa Gaza na kutoa wito kupitia mkutano wa Non-Aligned Movement kutumia ushawishi wa kongamano hilo na kusitisha mauaji ambayo yanaendelea katika ukanda wa Gaza. Hii hapa habari kwa undani.
This unacceptable moral, legal and humanitarian failure and demands an immediate end to the unjust war against the Palestinian people and for the immediate implementation of the two-state solution. I again express the African Union's full and unwavering support to the Palestinian people, and as a non-aligned movement, we should all demand stand for international justice and international law for all people fighting for freedom and dignity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, during the early days of the movement, its actions were key factors in the decolonization process, while later led to the attainment of freedom and independence of many countries across the globe. Throughout its history, the non-aligned movement has played a fundamental role in the preservation of world peace and security. You would agree with me, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that the founders of NAM have preferred to declare it as a movement instead of an organization in order to avoid bureaucratic implications of the latter and to reinforce its values as a movement for political and social justice. The membership criteria formulated during the preparatory conference in Cairo, Egypt in 1961 shows that the movement was not conceived to play a passive role in the international politics, but to formulate its own positions in an independent manner so as to reflect the interest of its member states. Much has been achieved, but we continue to face many challenges, old and new. Current challenges facing NAM include the necessity of protecting the principles of international law, eliminating weapons of mass destruction, combating terrorism, defending human rights, working towards making the United Nations more effective in meeting the needs of all its member states in order to preserve international peace, security, and development, as well as justice in the international economic system. The climate change crisis is a new but urgent global challenge. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa has surmounted numerous challenges in the past from which the continent has learned key lessons as it gears up to build the Africa we want and the Africa we deserve, as outlined in our Continental Development Agenda, Agenda 2063. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement, launched by the African Union, represents a global market of more than 1.3 billion people to boost intra-African trade, but also with the world to deepen cooperation for shared affluence. Despite this progress made, many African countries are still facing different forms and magnifications of terrorism, as well as transnational organized crime that risk to undo the important developmental gains on the continent. Africa is now a member of the G20, a key global platform to express the views of the continent with the rest of the world. However, the reform of international global political, financial, and economic institutions to ensure global equity remains a priority for Africa and the global South.
Naam, samahani, huyo ni mwakilishi wa Umoja wa Mataifa. Tukienda moja kwa moja kwa habari nyingine ni kwamba Azerbaijan imekabidhi wenyekiti wa muungano wa vuguvugu la Non-Aligned Movement kwa Uganda, na kabla ya kufanya makabidhiano hayo kwa Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, waziri wa mambo ya nje wa Azerbaijan ambaye alimwakilisha rais wa nchi hiyo alitaka Uganda kufanya juhudi za kuimarisha umoja wa nchi katika nchi husika za NAM, lakini pia Jamhuri ya Azerbaijan ilijiunga na muungano wa NAM mwaka wa 2011.
We should stay united in the face of existing and growing challenges and endeavor to make our movement be capable of and sufficiently equipped in coping with them. 4 years ago, at the 18th summit of the NAM held in Baku, the Republic of Azerbaijan assumed the chairmanship of the movement, which I can proudly say in the past few years have become one of the key players in international relations. As the outgoing chair of the non-aligned movement, Azerbaijan has spared no efforts towards further increasing the effectiveness of and strengthening unity within the movement. I truly believe that the Kampala summit will become a privileged opportunity for us to take stock of the progress of our work achieved since NAM Baku summit and to further advance the objectiveness set therein. Before starting our deliberations, I want to draw your attention to the following. The list of leaders of the non-aligned movement member states who passed away since the 18th summit of the non-aligned movement held in Baku, the Republic of Azerbaijan on 25-26 October 2019 has been circulated among all delegations. I invite all participants of this summit to stand and observe a minute of silence in tribute to the memory of those who lost their lives. We can now proceed to our deliberations. The provisional agenda for the summit has been circulated among all delegations. Can I consider that there are no objections to the agenda? That seems to be the case, and the agenda of the summit is hereby adopted. Excellencies, I am also delighted to share that during Azerbaijani chairmanship, we had certain milestone achievements towards enlargement of the movement. During our chairmanship, the non-aligned movement has been expanded in both its membership and observer composition. At the mid-term NAM Ministerial Summit held in Baku, the Russian Federation was granted an observer status in the movement. At the ministerial meeting of NAM Coordinating Bureau held in Baku in July 2023, we have agreed to forward the request of South Sudan, the only non-NAM member state from African continent, for full-fledged membership in the non-aligned movement to the Kampala summit. Admission of the South Sudan will be the first expansion of NAM membership in 13 years, bringing the number of member states to 121. This proves a growing validity and increased importance of our movement in the international relations system. Excellencies, these were some highlights from multidimensional and intense activities of Azerbaijani NAM chairmanship from 2019 to 2024.
Naam, alikuwa ni waziri wa mambo ya nje wa Azerbaijan akitoa hotuba yake kabla ya kukabidhi wanachama katika kongamano la vuguvugu la mataifa yasiyoegemea upande wowote, yani non-aligned movement. Na tukienda katika habari nyingine ni kwamba makabiliano ya NAM kutoka kwa waziri wa mambo ya nje Jahum Beiramov kwa niaba ya rais wa nchi hiyo kwenda kwa Rais Museveni yalifanyika wakati wa mkutano wa kilele wa NAM katika Speaks Resort Munyonyo, na yalikuwa ishara kubwa inayoonyesha utayari wa Uganda kuchukua jukumu hilo.
Excellencies, at this historic moment, after 4 years of proudly chairing the movement, we are handing over the chairmanship to the Republic of Uganda with a rich, substantial and institutional legacy. We are confident that Uganda will spare no effort towards further enhancing the role and visibility of the movement and strengthening unity among its member states. I would like to reiterate that although our chairmanship came to an end, our passion and determination for the success of NAM will always remain strong. We will continue to contribute to a just cause pursued by the movement within the NAM Troika. I wish the distinguished friends from Uganda all the best in their chairmanship and express our readiness to extend all the necessary support in this process. Azerbaijan is proud to take over a new important international responsibility. In fall 2024, Baku will be hosting the 29th Conference of Parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. As the host of COP29, we rely on precious support by the NAM member states and look forward to welcoming you to Azerbaijan. I thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, the next item in the agenda is election by acclamation of the chair of the 19th Summit of the Heads of State and Government of NAM. I propose the distinguished delegations to elect by acclamation His Excellency, Mr. Yoweri Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, as chair of the 19th Summit of the Heads of State and Government of NAM. So I declare His Excellency Mr. Yoweri Museveni as the chair of the 19th Summit of the Heads of State and Government of NAM, I invite His Excellency to assume his chairmanship. The floor is yours, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much.
Naam, hayo ndiyo makabidhiano ya wanachama ya wenyekiti samahani ambao ulifanyika. Na tukirejelea habari yetu ya kwanza ni kwamba Rais wa Baraza Kuu la Umoja wa Mataifa Dennis Francis amelalamikia kuongezeka kwa machafuko kwenye ukanda wa Gaza ambao umesababisha vifo vya watoto na wanawake. Rais alisema mkuu wa Umoja wa Mataifa kwamba mkutano wa NAM unapaswa kufanya kila iwezalo kuona kwamba mambo hayo au vita ambavyo vinaendelea katika ukanda wa Gaza vinasitishwa.
Setting. Our world is beset with profound, multifaceted challenges which demand creativity and consensus building to fashion effective solutions. Unhappily, it is precisely in the opposite direction that we are headed. Widening inequalities are breeding fresh grievances, while mistrust and geopolitical competition are hampering efforts to realize our aspirations of achieving sustainable development by 2030. In Ukraine, the Middle East, and here in Africa, crises and conflicts are laying bare the limits of the multilateral system, raising legitimate questions as to the relevance and value of the United Nations itself in terms of its ability to resolve global issues, and whether we, as a global community, can deliver the promise of peace and prosperity for all. There is no doubt that the world is deeply fragmented, complicating the mission and undermining the traditional mechanisms adopted by the United Nations in addressing major problems. And while we must, out of necessity, engage in introspection and adopt more effective strategies and methods to achieve delivery and meaningful impact, the one thing we must work hard to avoid is the loss of our ability to find common purpose and to act decisively when the moment demands it. I must tell you that I am deeply concerned and indeed dismayed about the ongoing calamity in the Gaza Strip. And so I call upon this movement to exert its influence in bringing a halt to the carnage that we are haplessly witnessing. That situation behoves us to ask, how much is enough? And does the very concept of enough even exist in this setting? Looking to the future of the region, I reiterate my urgent call on all parties to refrain from any action that could further spill over into neighboring countries. The General Assembly, encompassing the voice of the vast majority of member states, has been clear. In that regard, I renew the demand for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire and for the release of all hostages. This stands as the only credible course of action to authentically address, let alone resolve, this conflict. The wanton prosecution of violence only inspires intergenerational and cyclical appetites for retribution and reprisal. After various iterations of war over several decades, I am convinced that a negotiated political solution is the sole path through which both Israelis and Palestinians will see realized their fundamental right to a life of peace based on the two-state solution. As President of the General Assembly, I will support and encourage any and all initiatives to that end. You can count on me to remain steadfast in that commitment. It is precisely for these reasons that I chose peace as the first of 4 priorities of my presidency, reflecting its foundational importance as a prerequisite for achieving prosperity, progress, and sustainability for all. The history of NAM itself teaches us important lessons that remain valid today, bearing in mind that the movement was formed at a time of unprecedented global division, when the world appeared to be on the brink. Given NAM's commitment to and advocacy for peace, representing more than half of the global population, it has an indispensable role in guiding our world pragmatically towards a more secure, more just, and more prosperous future for all, where
Naam, na Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ameshikilia msimamo wake kwamba dunia inapaswa kuzingatia kushughulikia matatizo ya kawaida ya binadamu kupitia biashara, teknolojia na sayansi ili kukabiliana na masuala ya binadamu. Masuala ya mazingira, uhalifu na ugaidi vile vile ameyazungumzia, na amesisitiza kuheshimiwa kwa haki za kimsingi za binadamu na mamlaka na uadilifu wa kimaeneo ya mataifa yote. Maneno haya yalitolewa baada ya kushika uongozi kama mwenyekiti wa vuguvugu lisilofungamana na upande wowote, yani non-aligned movement. Hapa habari kwa undani na mwenzetu Bella Masangano.
Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni amechukua rasmi wadhifa wa wenyekiti wa vuguvugu lisilofungamana na upande wowote wa NAM kwa muda wa miaka 3 ijayo. Alipokea uongozi kutoka kwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Azerbaijan, mwenyekiti wa zamani wa vuguvugu hilo ambaye aliwakilishwa na waziri wa mambo ya nje wa Azerbaijan. Mwenyekiti huyo wa zamani wa vuguvugu hilo alitoa wito wa umoja ili kukabiliana na upinzani na changamoto zinazoongezeka. Azerbaijan tangu kuandikishwa kwake kwa NAM mwaka 2011 imekuwa na jukumu muhimu katika uhusiano wa kimataifa, kuimarisha umoja ndani ya harakati kwa kutetea kanuni za sheria za kimataifa. Uongozi wa Azerbaijan ulionyesha imani kwa uongozi ujao wa Rais Yoweri Museveni kuongoza ajenda za vuguvugu hilo. Rais Museveni aliitaja NAM kama suluhu la lazima kwa mgawanyiko usio na mantiki wa ulimwengu kati ya nchi za kibepari za magharibi na kikomunisti, hasa nchi za mashariki. Alisisitiza kwamba ukoloni wa moja kwa moja wa Afrika ulichochewa na nguvu mbaya za kibeberu kupitia aina za biashara ya utumwa ambayo ilizidishwa na machifu na wafalme ambao hawakuweza kuungana na kupigana na madhalimu. Rais alisisitiza kuchagua uchumi wa kisiasa, kugundua sheria za kimsingi zinazoongoza mwendo wa jamii kutoka mfumo mmoja wa kijamii hadi mwingine. Hatua hii iligundua kuwa mwanadamu aliyeibuka barani Afrika ndiye aliyekuwa mwigizaji mkuu na alikabiliana na dhuluma kwa asili, ikiwemo mafuriko, ukame, magonjwa, wanyamapori, tetemeko la ardhi na kadhalika. Rais Museveni alisema kuwa jamii zinazoendelea katika sayansi na teknolojia zinaweka msingi wa mabadiliko chanya ya kijamii na zinapaswa kuhimizwa nchi zinazoendelea kufuata mkondo huo kama njia mwafaka ya maendeleo. Aliongeza kwamba ulimwengu unapaswa kushughulikia matatizo ya kimsingi ambayo yanaathiri wananchi ulimwengu na kuomba nchi husika kuondoa vikwazo vya kibiashara. Rais Museveni pia alitaka mataifa kuheshimu mipaka na masuala ya ndani ya mataifa mengine.
Na kando na mazungumzo ya rais, tukienda katika idara ya walinda usalama ya trafiki, inasema kwamba idara ya usalama barabarani imesifu jamii kwa ushirikiano wake katika kufuata masharti ya muda ya barabara yaliyowekwa kama mwongozo kuelekea wakati wa mkutano wa non-aligned movement. Mkurugenzi wa idara hiyo Lawrence Niwabine amearifu kwamba hakuna tatizo lolote lililotokea kwenye barabara ambazo zilitengwa kwa ajili ya wageni ambao walikuwa wanatarajia kutoka nchi ya wanachama za NAM. Bwana Nwabine ametoa wito wa ushirikiano zaidi kutoka kwa jamii kwa ujumla hadi pale wageni hawa watakapoondoka nchini humo.
As we planned, the traffic plan is going on very, very well. We have not closed any road. We have diverted traffic, and we had horde of points for the traffic flow. This has enabled us not to cause a lot of congestion in town, and where there has been congestion, it has been temporary. After the motorcades leave, we clear that congestion. I'm grateful to the public, motorists, that they are behaving very well. I would like to appeal to them to continue behaving and using the roads, minding about other road users, but especially the moving motorcades that are coming from the airport, going to several hotels, and also going to the summit venue, Speak Resort Munyonyo. I will appeal to the cyclists. These ones we call boda boda. The boda boda leaders, I appeal to you to continue talking to several of these riders that they should also behave. Otherwise, we shall also use other methods and we can discipline them, but after impounding their motorcycles. That is the level we would not like to go to when the boda boda riders continue behaving well. But where we see them diverting from the normal use of the road, we shall not hesitate. We shall impound them and discipline them. The traffic management has been good, and we hope we shall come out of this operation when we have not registered any road crash along the summit route and also along other routes used by delegates. I appeal to the motoring public to wake up early or to plan their journey early enough. And if they are going to the Entebbe International Airport, they should move early, maybe as 3 hours before their flights. We have, the airport is not closed, it is open. So we appeal to those with flights to really move early enough so that they can catch their flights. We shall not inconvenience motorists But where the motorcades are moving, we shall hold on that traffic, and that hold off we can inconvenience for a short time. That short time is manageable, and we appeal to the motoring public to respect the movement of the motorcades, such that we do not have a road crash, and we come out of this operation when we are all happy and having sent the visitors back to their respective countries. Compliance has been good, and the measure of this compliance is that we have not got many offenders on the summit route and the other routes used by the delegates in the town. I thank you very much.
Naam, na habari hiyo ya walinda usalama kutoka idara ya trafiki na kunja jamvi letu la UBC Habari siku ya leo, lakini na kuhimiza kwamba usiondoke kwa sababu kuna mengi tu ambayo tumekuandalia haswa katika wenzetu wa lugha ya Kiganda na vile vile ya Kiingereza kuhusiana na haya yote ambayo yanaendelea nchini katika mkutano wa NAM. Kwa sasa ni hayo tu. Mimi ni Sadam Muballe, usiku mwanana.
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weathercoat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss, and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
It's super fast internet.